What's going on, everybody? Excuse me. It's Kyle here with Gnarly Knives, and I want to do something cool today. Isn't something that I've done before necessarily. I've done a lot of first impressions, but this is going to be an unboxing first impression. It's something I see a lot of people do. I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to try it out because I ordered a knife a few days ago and it came in today. You guys actually probably already know what that knife is, the Kizer Contrail. So I'm pretty excited about it. I haven't even opened it yet, still in the package. So I thought I'd open it up with you guys. Now to open it up, I'm going to be using my handy dandy Spyderco Atlantic Salt 2. Alright, so let's see what we got. So I just sliced it open. Ooh. I don't know, Kizer has some nice boxes. I actually only have one other Kizer knife. You guys probably have seen it if you've seen the gentleman knife carry video. That was featured in that. I haven't done a dedicated video on that, so I probably should because I do like the big lighter. Sounds just like big Bic lighter, but it is a really nice knife. So actually, I would like to do it its due, do it its due justice, I guess, and do a video on that at some point. But today we'll be checking this out. So this is the Kizer Contrail. I don't know too much about it. I actually had never heard of the knife until a couple nights ago. I was just, floating around on Amazon and it popped up. I don't know. It's funny because like I said, I live in New England, but more specifically, I live in Mass. Mass is pretty nuts when it comes to a lot of their weapon laws. But it's funny with their knives and stuff, just with what you can ship. I don't know, maybe if it's not Mass specifically, or maybe it has to do with Amazon. I'm not sure, because a lot of folding knives you can't order and have them sent to a Mass address, but you can order a machete or an axe and have that sent to the address. So I don't really get it. At the same time too, you can order off like Blade HQ and stuff like that, and they'll send knives here. So I don't know, maybe it's an Amazon thing, but Mass in general just kind of sucks with a lot of their laws with things, as anybody who lives here will probably tell you. So let's get this puppy open. So just gonna slide out. Let's see what we got here. Passion, Pride, Performance. That's pretty cool. All right. So we got a little sleeve thing. So it's a little different than when I ordered the other Kizer, and that was a couple years ago. All right. So it came with the little eyeglass cleaner. I actually do still have my other one that I got with the Kizer. With the Kizer, with my other Kizer that I got. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, I'll probably just end up giving it to my girl or something because she wears glasses sometimes, so she'll probably have more use for it than me. I actually am supposed to wear glasses, I just don't like to. Alright. Yeah, so it's just, the usual stuff you see on, any knife that sends you a little information, the care, the warranty, what to do, what not to do, and a nice little sleeve. So, alright, that's cool. That's nice. Alright, let's get to the fun stuff. So, these do come in 3 different colors that I've seen. You can get it in black or like an olive drab green, and you can also get it in blue, which is what I got this in. Oh, these packaging suck. All right, here we go. It's out. Here we go. The Kizer. Ooh, that was nice. The Kizer Contrail. So it's a tiny knife. It's small. Well, it's funny. It's small, like it's short, but it's robust. It's kind of like I don't know, it's like a little chode. I guess the best way I can put it, because it's it's short, it's stubby, but for what the size of it, it's a pretty fat little knife. I don't know, I like that. So it's got a decent little action on it there. Let's check it out. So yeah, it swings open pretty nice. How are we looking? That centering's pretty good. If you're able to pick that up. Centering's pretty good on that. I like that. You got a nice, I don't know, I'm guessing it's probably definitely kind of plastic back spacer here. So that's pretty cool. It has some jimping on it to give you a little more grip. The blade, the top of it has some jimping on it for your thumb, so that's pretty nice because it's small. I mean, it is like a 3.5 finger knife. Actually, it's most comfortable for me. It feels like to hold it like this. So there's like, a millimeter of actual handle for my pinky to get on. But I also I have a little bit bigger hands. So if you have smaller hands, then definitely should be good. Maybe be a 3.5 finger knife for you. It has a liner lock, so I like it. That is pretty cool. It has G10 handles. What I like too is they have the little collar. Kind of be able to see. I don't know. Maybe get out I left my flashlight on the desk over there. Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it has the little collar around the pivot there. It's only on the one side on the back. The other side doesn't have one. I don't know, but I guess this would be like the show side of the knife. Looking in. Oh, boo Teflon. Boo Teflon washers. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't like Teflon washers. Maybe it's more subjective in the sense. I mean, especially like when I was a kid, like looking back now, all my knives probably had Teflon washers. But they were also, really cheap knives. Like the most expensive knife I would buy would be like $20 or something at Walmart. So that Teflon then would be standard. But my only real issue with it is just, I've just noticed in my experience over time, it just seems like they do tend to wear more than, the bronze phosphor washers. They definitely get a little beat up easier. And you can't quite clean them as well. I mean, you can clean them, but I mean, the way you can like polish, like the bronze or the phosphor washers, it's a little tougher with these. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but you got to be careful. You don't want to remove too much material. It's a lot softer. I mean, the action on it now is very nice. So, of course, like I said, because this is just going to be your first impressions. So, a few months from now, we'll go back, see how that's holding up. By then I'll have sharpened it, probably disassembled it a couple times. But speaking of sharp, that is a very, very sharp edge. You can just tell just from feeling that. You can really kind of feel it just over the little grooves, your fingerprints. Let's see if she'll shave. Oh, can you hear that? See the hairs popping? That's probably a little gross. That is very sharp. I like that a lot. That is a nice edge. I mean, the knife overall so far, I mean, for the 5 minutes, it's cute. It's definitely cute. I mean, this is something that will be great in a lot of places because it's about a 2-inch blade on it. I think overall the knife's about 5 inches long. Let's see. We'll measure real quick. So we're going from, tip to handle. We're looking at about 2 1/8 inches and looking at maybe 2 1/16 inches for the blade. So you're basically looking at a 2-inch blade, just over 2 inches. And about a 3 1/8 for the handle length. So overall looking at about a little under 5 1/4 inches. So it's a small knife. Most places have a 3-inch or, a 3.5 or 3-inch, is the longest for the legal limit. So at 2 inches, as long as you're able to have a locking knife, then you're going to be golden. And it's a non-threatening knife. It doesn't look, when you're looking at it, when you're holding it, if someone saw you using a knife, it's not a threatening looking knife. It's small, but it's funny. It's very robust looking. I mean, I would even argue maybe even a little overbuilt, but not necessarily in a bad way. I like that. The blade stock on it, I did look up before the video, but even two now can measure, but it's about 1/8 of an inch. And yeah, that's what I'm coming up with here. Maybe a hair under 1/8. So it's definitely for the size of it. I mean, it's definitely got a good, solid, solid spine. I don't know. It has a flat grind or a high saber grind. I know some people call them flat grinds. So it does taper down pretty well. Looks to be decently thin behind the edge. A little bit of sharpening can make it even thinner, of course. This is a Lundquist design, and I actually am not familiar with him prior to this. Because I did search on YouTube to see if I could find a couple videos about the knife, and a few people had talked about him. He seems like a cool guy, and I think this design is really cool. So he's someone I definitely like to check out more. But I think probably so far, I think my favorite thing with it is the steel. So it's 154 cm. The big lighter that I have is VG10, and VG10's a good steel, but 154 cm you definitely getting a little upgrade, and they go for around the same price. I mean, this you can get for about $59. So for price wise, my only complaint really is just with the washers. I just really wish they threw, the bronze phosphor or whatever washers in it, just not the nylon or Teflon that they used. Even if they charge a few bucks more, I mean, I don't know. I pay ridiculous amounts for knives, so even if you charge an extra like $5, make it 64, $65, or even $70 to throw the washers in. Of course, I'd still buy it. I think a lot of people would. But it's a nice knife, from what I can tell so far. You get the nice little sheep's foot. It does have a swedge on it, but I think, it's just more for aesthetics. Of course, it doesn't go down to the tip, but starts right about here and just runs up to, maybe a little less than a quarter of an inch above where the thumb studs are. The action on it is pretty nice. So I mean, I guess I do have to say that about the Teflon. And it's not that I don't think Teflon you can't get nice action with it. It's just more of in the long run is where I've seemed to, notice having some issues with. It usually starts slow with just centering, and then, it just notice you got to keep cranking the knife a little tighter, a little tighter. But that could just be my experience. Please let me know your experience with Teflon washers as well. But it's fun. I like playing with it. I like the sound. It's funny. It's kind of loud for just, you just think it's such a little knife. It kind of reminds me of like my Benchmade Contago. When that's like force when you feel it open. I mean, granted, too, it's a big, long, heavy, thick M4 blade. But like you feel it. Like it's almost got a recoil to it. But this definitely does too. I mean, not so much the recoil, but that sound. It's just like we're in business. But it does, and for this, how small it is, because this reminds me size-wise, like length of the Spyderco the Dragonfly, which is another just sweet, cute little knife. But it fits the hand really well. I think that's probably the benefit of it being, a stouter knife, a little bit fatter, or just for something in this size, So we'll get the old measuring out again, measuring tape. So we're looking a little less than half an inch. Maybe, what would you call that? Maybe like 3/8 of an inch. Actually, a little less, a little more than 3/8 of an inch. 7/16. So it does fit the hand well where I can get my hand on it. It does fit well. Time will tell. Live with it a bit, see how I really think. But it's a cool little idea. Of course, too, you got the little lanyard hole, because this actually probably wouldn't be a bad idea of a knife to just keep in your pocket. If you want, you can take the clip off, and just sink it in your pocket and throw like a lanyard or something on it. That wouldn't be a bad idea. The knife isn't really heavy. I mean, it feels like it is. It gives the illusion that it's heavy, but just because it's a small package, it's the little chode knife. But I think when I looked it up, it looks like it weighs about 3 ounces. So, I mean, it's about what this knife weighs. Around 3 ounces is the Atlantic Salt 2. And it's funny, the knife's almost the same length overall. I mean, of course the blade adds, but it's got some good heft to it. I feel like for if you need to do really small, I don't know, delicate and hard use go together. But if you're doing small, hard use things, I think this would definitely be able to handle it. Um, it's fun. It's nice, and it does have full steel liners. From what I can tell, it looks like it's not actually milled out at all, which, I mean, for me is fine. I really don't care about weight. I just make more of a deal about it because, some people do, some people don't. So just, to give you guys as much information on it. But, for around $60, I feel pretty happy. I don't feel let down at all. And I don't know, I think the clip's kind of nice. It's kind of, I don't know, just nice. It flows. I think it's kind of cute. It's a full inclusive. And the G10, the grip has some good texturing on it. The scales, rather, have some good texturing on it. Remind me almost a little bit. It feels almost like the Paramilitary 2, like that. Kind of like the way the G10 is. A little rougher. And then they have the little slits in it. I feel like that's more for aesthetic. But I mean, I guess, my ring finger gets on it. So I guess, I could add a little bit more grip. But I'm not too worried about something like this flying out of the hands. But it's a nice knife. And, I'm excited to show it more. I'll definitely do a full review on it in a couple of months. After I get to live with it a little bit, play with it a bit more, check it out. But it's cool. I really wanted to add another 154 cm to the collection because my only real experience with it is the Benchmade mini grip, which was the first Benchmade I got, and I loved it. But it was just a little small, which is funny. It's really about the same size as this, but there's just something different about this being, because this might even be a little smaller lengthwise than the mini grip. But I ended up giving that to my girl. So, I mean, I have good experience with sharpening 154 cm. But actual regular use, because I had it for a couple months, carried it a little bit, but then I quickly moved up to the, larger Benchmades and, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, got the full-size Griptilian. But I'm excited to see what the future holds for it. I'd love to hear if any of you guys have used it or have it yet, because it's been out about a year. But let me know what you guys think. And please remember to comment, like, subscribe, share the video, please. That would be great. Remember to keep carving and stay sharp. Peace.